So now that we are done with getting a master's admission, time to apply for the visa. I need to reiterate that I am not a Canadian visa officer. I am not a registered immigration practitioner. I am just a girl who likes research, and we did all of our stuff by ourselves and has helped a couple of our friends. And I just feel like sharing what I have learned over the years with YouTube. Just take the information of this video and my last video as a starter pack, just like a starter pack of what I need to know. Then when you listen and watch the video, you go do more research by yourself. So I'm not even going to lie to you, getting a Canada study visa is not the easiest task in the world. It is not also the most difficult. I know people get rejected a lot, people get denied a lot. In my situation, I'm going to say I put in the work and I got the visa. I got my visa in 7 weeks. Even at that period, the processing time was an average of 15 weeks and I got mine in 7 weeks. Now the thing with Canada visa is it can get really complicated. Why does it get complicated? I don't know. But what I know is how to make sure that you are decreasing the chances of getting refused or getting declined. I know some steps that you can take to make sure that the chances of your visa getting refused is minimal. And that's what I'm going to share in this video. So there are 4 major reasons why Canada refuses visa. The first one is purpose of visit, which is the biggest one actually. Well, alongside finances. So the 2 biggest reasons Canada refuses people visa study permits is purpose of visit and finances. The last 2 are home ties and travel history. And I'm going to talk about them. Let's talk about purpose of visit. Like I said in my previous videos, purpose of visit is mainly that they don't trust the reason why you're going to study in Canada. An example of that is me studying mass communication and all of a sudden I want to go and do my master's in biology. That is questionable. Where did biology come from? That purpose of visit is not clear. The first step is that you have career progression in your proposed study. If you studied chemical engineering for your undergrad, follow something along that path. Study zoology as your undergraduate degree and you have 5 years work experience as a financial advisor. Then in that situation, it becomes a little bit tricky because now you have to weigh it. Does my 5 years studying zoology outweigh the 5 years of me working as a financial advisor? What career drive we want to follow? In this situation, I would say you should follow the career path, which is financial advisor, and do something in do a master's degree in management, because you've left university for 5 years now, you haven't done anything zoology related. It's just normal for you to follow that financial career path. But some people still want to go back and do zoology, which is very, very okay. This is when a letter of explanation comes in. See, something about Canada study visa is, if there is any gray area, that it is not black or white, put it in a letter of explanation. Luckily for me, like I said before, my application was very straightforward. I did not have to write any letter of explanation. A situation where your application is not very straightforward, change your work industry, your education a couple of times. This is when you need a letter of explanation. Just explain why you're choosing the current program you're choosing. Another reason why I get a purpose of visit refusal reason is because of study gaps. Like example is, if you take, maybe in university you took 3 years off or you took a year off, you need to account for that year off that you took. Just talk on it. I took this year off, maybe to discover yourself. Even you took the year off does not have to make sense, but they just want to know. They just want to know that 1 year that you took off, you were not idle, you were doing something for yourself. Some people finish university and do not get jobs for the first 3-4 years, which is perfectly okay, because we understand how this life is. Just make sure that you are explaining why there is a gap and you are also giving them what you did in that period. I mean, an example is, if it took you 2 years to get a job after university, you didn't sit home for that 2 years. You were probably assisting family members in their business. You're going to your mom's shop. Put it there. Put that family commitment. Worked on family business. Make sure you put what you're doing. It doesn't have to make sense, but you just have to account for it. The second reason why people's visa get denied is financials. And this is a funny one because I feel like it all boils down to who is your sponsor, who is sponsoring you. When your parents are sponsoring you, it is very easy because it is very believable that your parents will want to spend all their money on you. But once your sponsorship is turning into my auntie, my uncle, it becomes a little bit more difficult, and you will need some documentation for that. You would need letters. You would need to justify why your auntie is spending $40,000 on you. Why? You would need to justify that. Also, it gets complicated where there are multiple sponsors, maybe 3 to 4 sponsors. One sponsor is bringing 5,000. So just try to make sure that everything that can be confusing to the visa officer is explained. Another reason why you get checked for finances for refusal is lump sum of money. Lump sum of money is a no-go. Like, it's not even just for Canada. For every visa you apply for, once they see that there's a lump sum of money that is not explained or that does not come in regularly, they automatically assume that you went to borrow that money. An example of this is, in the past 6 months, the average money that has been coming into the account is $1,000. All of a sudden, 2 months before you apply for your visa, this random $14,000 that came into your account, and you just submitted the statement of account like that, they're going to be very suspicious, and most likely you're going to get denied because there is no explanation for that. Also, unexplained source of income is another reason why people get denied. Your regular monthly salary is $2,000, and then you just started receiving $500 from somewhere, $500 every month from somewhere, and you're not explaining that. That can be a reason why they're going to tick your finances and say, it don't make sense. Another reason why you can get flagged for finances is that you don't have enough money. So currently, the thing is, when you're applying for a Canadian visa, you need to have your first year tuition and $10,000 in your account as cost of living. You need to be able to prove that you have that money, and it has to be in liquid cash. I don't know if that makes sense. It has to be in the account. So you can't use rental properties. You can't tell them that you're using your rental properties as a proof of fund. No, that doesn't make sense. In a situation where your tuition fee is $15,000, you have to show $25,000. That is $15,000 plus $10,000. Another thing that is important is your sponsor. If you have a sponsor, your sponsor has to write a letter of sponsorship. This letter should show that your sponsor is taking care of all your bills. This is if they're taking care of all your bills. If your sponsor is just taking care of your tuition, they need to write that they're taking care of your tuition. It's partial sponsorship. They just need to write a letter to back that up. Another reason is dependence. And I'm not sure how I can explain this, but an example is, if your parents are sponsoring you and your tuition is $15,000, your cost of living is $10,000, $25,000, and your parents are showing a bank account of $26,000, and you have 3 younger siblings who are still in high school and they're paying for school, there's a probability that you might get refused, because if your parents are if they're spending the $25,000 on you, $1,000 is too small. It's too small to take care of the other kids. So coming to Canada to study is not a cheap thing. You need to have the money for it. The easiest way to do this is just to pay your tuition and just have the $10,000 in your account. And that way you wouldn't be refused based on your finances. The third thing I want to talk about is home ties. Home ties can be a little bit vague and you don't really understand, but I know that family stands as home ties. Family, your spouse, your children, they are good home ties. Landed properties are good home ties. Business, if you have a business, it is also a home tie. Home tie is just basically what is tying you to your country. That in a case where anything goes wrong in Canada, there's something that is going to bring you back. Or in a case where maybe you're tired of school and you want to quit school, you're not going to stay back in Canada doing illegal things, that there's something drawing you back to come to your country. You have something going on in your country. When I talk about landed properties, it doesn't have to be in your name. It can be in your parents' name, especially if you're less than 30. It can be in your parents' name. Your parents' family business is also very good, because why am I staying in Canada illegally when there's a family business fetching money that I can join? And the last thing is travel history. People bother themselves about travel history so much, but personally, travel history is not a reason why they refuse the visa. I just feel like they just tick it. Because when I applied for my Canada visa, I had never left Nigeria. In fact, my passport was fresh. And I got the visa in 7 weeks without travel history. So I don't think anyone should really bother about travel history. I believe that you should work on these three major reasons that I said earlier. That's the purpose of visit, finances, and home ties. And then you can get your visa. Travel history is just one of those things. Even though travel history shows that you can go into a country and come back, it's not much of a big deal. If it's really bothering you, maybe just go to Ghana for 1 week or go to Dubai and you're gonna be fine.